Could more have been done to prevent a vicious attack?
What happened to this individual was heinous. This shouldn't be allowed to happen.
Questions are being raised why a woman was free after her lengthy criminal history surfaces. Plus, pet-friendly housing.
We're seeing about 250 families every single year coming in to surrender their animal when it's not their choice to do so.
A new toolkit launches to help Calgarians find the perfect place. And an electric ice explorer.
This is the first of its kind, and we're going to learn from it.
A look at the new tourist vehicle at the Columbia Icefield.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Jacqueline Wilson.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. We are learning more tonight about a woman accused of robbery on a CTrain platform that left the victim with serious injuries. Brittany Jewel Mahangan was convicted of killing her mom, and she has a lengthy criminal history. The latest attack is sparking renewed concerns about criminals released by the justice system, and a warning: the story contains images that some viewers might find disturbing. Tyler Barrow reports.
Brittany Jewel Mahangan was supposed to appear for a bail hearing Wednesday related to a number of charges, including a vicious robbery at the Crowfoot CTrain station 2 weeks ago. Sandra Stephan says she was the victim of a random attack, beaten so badly she ended up in hospital for 8 days. Mahangan remains in custody as her lawyer works on a release plan, but CTV has learned she has a long history in the courts. Mahangan was previously charged in an attack involving 2 victims at the Lions Park CTrain station March of 2023, but court documents show charges of aggravated assault, assault with a weapon, and 3 breaches of failing to comply with a release order were thrown out due to a lack of evidence. In 2012, she was sentenced to 5 years in prison for what the court called a vicious beating death of her mother. As of 2019, she became a registered sex offender.
If guilty of the offense, it's really quite alarming.
During May's police commission meeting, frustration grew over criminals not in custody.
We have to somehow change the way that third leg of democracy works and start putting people away for criminality.
We do get letters and comments, as does the service, from the community, but we actually would ask you to go to your political representatives.
Well, one Calgary Conservative MP says this case highlights her party's Jail Not Bail Act. It proposes amendments to the criminal code, which include prioritizing public safety in bail decisions.
What happened to this individual was heinous. This shouldn't be allowed to happen.
One criminal studies professor does want to remind people many who commit one offense never recommit.
You do have a group of individuals who are chronic recidivists, chronic offenders, that the criminal justice system, and in particular corrections and the courts, have a hard time dealing with those repeat offenders.
Mahangan was last convicted in February 2025 for failing to comply with her release conditions. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
A man was rushed to hospital in serious condition after a stabbing in the northeast. Police say that they were called to an altercation on Pine Hill Road northeast before 5 p.m. At this point, officers aren't releasing suspect details or if anyone is in custody. Paramedics say the victim was rushed to the Foothills Medical Center in serious condition. And a 19-year-old is dead after a motorcycle crash in Okotoks on Tuesday evening. RCMP say it happened near Ranch Road just before 7 p.m. Police and paramedics responded to the single vehicle collision, but the man died at the scene. RCMP are still determining what factors contributed to the crash, and they say the investigation is ongoing. And Calgary has ended its climate emergency declaration 5 years after it was passed by the previous council. Tonight, council voted 10-5 in favor of getting rid of the declaration. The gutting policy meant that all city departments had to consider climate impacts and to explore emission reduction opportunities for most projects. Although the emergency declaration has ended, the city's climate strategy will still continue, and that includes programs pushing solar panels, incentivizing energy-efficient homes, and expanding pathways. Councillor Landon Johnston says that the emergency declaration became a political issue that was really largely symbolic.
Well, we have a climate action plan that existed before the declaration, which has done a lot of good work in flood mitigation and a lot of real actionable items, whereas a symbolic gesture has done absolutely nothing for us.
During today's discussion, city officials said ending the emergency declaration would not impact Calgary's ability to reach a goal of net zero by 2050. Well, the United Conservative Party Government Caucus is adamant on remaining in Canada, despite a referendum this fall that could trigger a future vote on separation. The party says it's not a separatist party, but is it out of touch with its membership? Tyson Fedor reports.
Alberta is making headlines across the country for a referendum set for 5 months from now, where citizens will be asked if they want to remain in Canada or start the process of possibly leaving with another vote.
This type of uncertainty is unhelpful for long-term investment decisions.
Investment decisions that some within the UCP agree could be lost with growing sentiment and rhetoric around the separatism debate.
We've got about 1 million Albertans who are frustrated with a relationship with Ottawa to a point where they think it's time to file the divorce papers. I don't feel that way.
Premier Danielle Smith is adamant she does not want to split from Confederation, pointing to a deal to build pipelines with the PM. Her government caucus colleagues are also on board, with several planning to vote to remain.
We support sovereign Alberta within United Canada. So I emphasize that because this is what we stand for. Right?
I definitely wish to remain in Canada. I think there's a pathway to meeting the aspirations for Albertans within Canada.
I always campaign for Alberta and Canada, and better together is better.
On Canada Day, we will definitely be celebrating and handing out Canada flags.
Still, some are trying to downplay the dissenting voices from within the party.
At no point have we had a discussion about being an independence party.
UCP President Rob Smith told CTV News late last week that the party would only consider a vote on becoming a sovereign, independent party if the majority of Albertans voted in a referendum to annex themselves from Canada.
I think the Premier is doing the best that she can to prove to Albertans at this point in time how Alberta can prosper within Canada.
The Premier blames past politicians and some current for backing Albertans into a corner on a vote on separation.
Politicians who use their platform to target Alberta, target our resource, target our wealth. And that's what I think Albertans have responded to.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Albertans can vote in the referendum October 19th. Then Prime Minister Mark Carney says that if Alberta moves in favor of separation, a 50+1 referendum result will not be enough to break up the country.
For under a Clarity Act, it is absolutely not, and I would just recommend that you read the Clarity Act. It's very clear. Not surprisingly, the Clarity Act is very clear. And a determination, and there's a series of conditions which I responded in the House for the record.
The Prime Minister was responding to a comment made in the House by a Bloc Québécois MP. The MP suggested a bare majority would be enough. Carney said that the House of Commons will not weigh in on whether the question on Alberta's upcoming referendum is clear because the vote is not binding. Finding a new place to live is always stressful, but finding one that will take pets, that can be even harder. It's one of the leading reasons why some pets end up surrendered to the Humane Society. As Moses Waldo reports, the society and the city are teaming up to help.
The shelter at the Calgary Humane Society continues to be at or near capacity, with 40% of the intake being surrendered animals.
Where we're seeing about 250 families every single year coming in to surrender their animal when it's not their choice to do so. They've simply run out of options. They have nowhere to live with their animal.
And that number doubles when you add the average of animals abandoned yearly. Part of the problem has been the lack of rental housing for pets and their families. Looking for solutions, the Humane Society partnered with the city and have introduced a toolkit.
It also includes adjusting how we at the city incentivize housing development through our granting programs and ensuring that on our rubric we're including things like do you allow pets or not.
And the key is affordable as well. So I know that this is really focused on our vulnerable populations within the city of Calgary.
Data from the University of Calgary shows 53% of Calgarians are pet owners, but just 10% of rentals are pet-friendly, a challenge some Calgarians faced when finding housing for them and their furry friends.
You can find a lot of buildings that, charge a pretty nominal fee for cats or small dogs, but finding any place that accepts larger dogs like this guy or doesn't charge an arm and a leg for it is pretty difficult.
It's so hard because all of the place don't like for dog.
Boardwalk is a rental housing provider. Of their 37 rentals across Calgary, 31 are pet-friendly, and they welcome the news.
Our city of Calgary has one of the highest vacancies in the nation. And so good news, there's lots of pet-friendly choices as evidenced in our communities. And having a choice is the most important thing to provide.
And Fritz says the Humane Society will help bridge the gap.
Calgary Humane is here with support. We offer behavior classes. We do offer programs to help landlords and tenants just make sure that they succeed in that relationship.
Moses Wildu, CTV News, Calgary.
Old Beautiful Brew Pub in Inglewood has been sorely missed since it burned down in 2024, but it's on the way to a comeback. The building couldn't be saved, but the production of the company's beer was taken over by another business to keep it afloat. Now the development permit application has officially been submitted to the City of Calgary by the property owners. The area councillor says the pub was a pillar of the community and they welcome the chance to see it come back.
I love this language, rising from the ashes. It's fantastic. I would think that people will be really pleased. Again, I think there was a unique sort of meshing of business there and community, and it was a really fun space. And having Old Beautiful come back will be a wonderful thing for the community.
The brew pub was destroyed by a fire there is no timeline, I should say, for when that new building will be completed. Lots of heat, it feels like right now. I loved today. What can we expect tomorrow?
Calgary was pretty perfect today. If you enjoy August weather, you know, it was nice and hot, but not excessively hot like many other spots. It's going to be even hotter tomorrow. In fact, by the morning hours when off to work and school, we'll likely already be at 19 degrees. Lots of sunshine for the day as well. By 5 p.m. is when we start to get in the risk of isolated showers and non-severe thunderstorms. A high of 29 expected for tomorrow. And for communities outside of Calgary, especially the far south, there's the risk of more severe thunderstorm activity. We'll talk more about all of that coming up.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Danielle. Well, after the break, Electric Explorer will show you a new first-of-its-kind vehicle set to tour the Columbia Ice Field next.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Welcome back. A program that exposes young people to science and the trades is getting a financial boost. The province is giving another $300,000 to support a program called Blueprint at TELUS Spark Science Centre through 2027. Now, the idea is to introduce young people to the trades early on and spark an interest and understanding about careers to build a skilled workforce.
We can help students connect with what they learn in school into real-world careers and show them pathways that are exciting, respected, and full of opportunities.
Blueprint, which stands for Building, Learning, and You, brings together skilled trades in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics through hands-on exhibits at the Science Centre. Meantime, more than 124 high school students celebrated the completion of their skilled trade programs today. The students from 5 different schools were training in skilled trades like carpentry, electrical, pipe and steel trades, culinary, and hairstyling. The Education Partnership Foundation makes the programs possible by teaming up with industry. The 16 weeks of skill training adds up to essential credits as these students get ready to head out into the world.
We're seeing a huge shortage right now in skilled trades workers across the province, and these will be the next future workforce that are going to help grow our economy.
Well, the Educational Partnership Foundation is a charity that sponsors trade programs across public and private schools. Well, a company that runs tours of the Columbia Ice Field has unveiled a first-of-its-kind solar-powered electric vehicle. Tim Brooke has more.
There are some things you're almost guaranteed to see in Jasper National Park: the Rockies, tourists, and one of these. The ice explorers have been taking guests to the Athabasca Glacier for decades. The fleet's newest member is a little different.
Make sure you use the handrails, please.
This is the first of its kind, and we're going to learn from it and go from there on potentially doing more in the future.
The electric Ice Explorer recently took its maiden glacial voyage.
This is a really important step when it comes to emissions, and so it feels good, and that's my favorite part in all this for sure.
It's lighter, roomier and quieter than its diesel predecessors.
Good conversation.
The Made in Canada Explorer can run up to 6 days of tours without needing a solar charge.
So our challenge was, how do we make a vehicle that can operate in these conditions, going up very steep hills, going down very steep hills, hauling a lot of weight. So our main design was trying to make this vehicle as light as possible. So to start from the ground up is what we did. We have 6 kilowatts of solar on the roof, which puts back approximately 12% on an average day into the battery.
The unveil comes 6 years after a devastating Ice Explorer crash killed 3 passengers and injured 14 others. There were no criminal charges, but the vehicles have all since been equipped with more safety features.
Everything is based on the regenerative braking. So the engine itself will recharge as you're heading down the hill, and it adds that brake automatically without having to put your foot on it. So I really do think it feels a lot safer.
The electric Explorer cost roughly $1.2 million. It is now operating. Tim Brook, CTV News, Calgary.
Well, as Tim mentioned there, that Pursuit's Columbia Icefield Adventure is open for the 2026 season. And for more information, it can be found on our website, ctvnewscalgary.ca. All right, stay with us. Danielle Savoni is back along with her Skywatch weather forecast next.
All right, before we get into the forecast, yesterday in some communities, record-breaking heat. 11 communities in the province and in the south half of the province, these are the spots that have new records for May 26 for daytime highs. Medicine Hat got to 34.8, Milk River 33.2, Claresholm area 30.8, Bow Island area 34.7, and Coronation 33.8. So a hot day yesterday. Today was hot, not as excessive though. Heat warnings still in place for many communities. 31 was the high in Medicine Hat today, 29 for Brooks. Milk River got to the 30 mark, Drumheller 28 and 26 in Calgary. So Calgary is this nice little pocket where we're getting almost August weather. It's hot, but it's not as excessively hot as many other communities. So we have the heat warning in place. Foremost, Manyberries up through Medicine Hat, Brooks, Champion, over to Claresholm. So it has been extended today to include parts of Highway 2 up through Bragg Creek towards Okotoks. Again, Calgary not under this warning. So it's still hot in Calgary, but not like some other communities. Drumheller, Coronation under this heat warning. And this is because we have daytime highs that are excessive, but even the overnight lows are pretty warm in the high teens in many cases. So it's hard to get relief from the heat. All right, so we had the U.S. just throwing some thunderstorm activity in, but we have high pressure in place. So it was just knocking out these thunderstorms pretty quick earlier today. Some communities did see some though. All right, as we head through the next 24 hours, that will not be the case for tomorrow. So tomorrow we have not only the potential of thunderstorm activity, but severe thunderstorm activity in some spots. So I'm going to advance this. By the time we get through closer to 1 a.m., still thunderstorm activity possible near Lethbridge. Weak thunderstorm activity, smaller size hail possible with it though. Then it's clear for the morning hours, most of the afternoon. Far south, as this is the highest risk of seeing any sort of severe weather later in the day tomorrow. And then even by 5:30, we have the chance of seeing some weak thunderstorms in Calgary. So more intense to the far south and longer lasting in the far south. But Calgary and up Highway 2, we could see some of this as well. And by late tomorrow night, that risk arrives in the Medicine Hat area. Okay, longer range forecast, 29 degrees for Calgary. So that's a lot hotter than what we had today. And even in the morning, starting off at 19 degrees at 8 a.m. when off to work and school. It's a hot one tomorrow. Sunscreen, keep hydrated, sunshine for much of the day. And then after 5 p.m., we get into the risk of thunderstorms. For Calgary, it looks like non-severe thunderstorms. Friday, less risk of any of that. 28 is our high. And then a big system will roll in for the weekend. That's going to drop our temperatures. It's also going to drop a good amount of rain. So 10 plus millimeters possible on Saturday, and then another 3 to 5 possible on Sunday. And by Sunday, just a high of 12.
Okay, thanks, Danielle. Well, the Confluence site, formerly known as Fort Calgary, will have a very different look in the years to come. The new site concept plan has been unveiled. It includes new pathways, gardens, shades and structures, and some of the new amenities include a powwow arbor, chilled outdoor hockey rink, and a covered stage with seating for 3,000 to 5,000 people. And that'll have capacity for another 13,000 on the concert lawn. Officials say the plan honors the site's history while supporting community use.
As a landscape architect, this is kind of the epitome of the work that we could undertake. You know, it really was about reconnecting people with this place and understanding, you know, how people can experience this place fully. So the culture of this place, but also the ecology of this place.
The plan is a 20-year vision, and officials say more work needs to be done to really determine the costs. A star-studded fundraiser. After the break, we'll get a look at a sold-out event helping classroom champions.